Hey everyone, my name is Chandler Miles. I'm a trans man. I am 15 months on hormones, and I'm about 3.5 months post top surgery. I wanted to make this video kind of follow up on my other videos about how I'm doing after surgery, and I suppose I'll talk about the emotional aspects of it and the physical aspects of it, just general comments as well. So, emotionally, I don't even know how to describe that I've done a complete 180, but I have. Um, I'm so much happier on a day to day basis. I'm free. You know, it feels like I'm free, finally. It feels like top surgery was the thing that was kind of holding me back in a way. Before I had it, I felt kind of trapped behind a um a door or a closet, if you will, fellow gays. That kind of kept me from living my full truth and, living my happiest life. And I didn't think that top surgery would have the impact that it did on me, but it changed everything about my life. I don't even know where to begin. So, right after surgery, um, your surgeon will probably describe this to you if you're having top surgery. You go through a bit of an emotional roller coaster after surgery. This is in part due to the number one, the huge monumentous change you've made in your life for the good. Second, the opiates, the painkillers, they really mess with your emotions. And third, just being the discomfort you're in after surgery, which for me wasn't that bad. I have another video on it, so you can check that out if you want to see how my pain level was and all that, but it generally wasn't too bad. But all of those things mixed together make the first couple of weeks, probably like 2 to 3 weeks after surgery, a bit hard to tell how good of a decision it was to make. But me personally, I never doubted it. I never felt regret, even in my most uncomfortable moments. Never once did I think I shouldn't have gone through with it. So it was definitely the right choice for me. After those 2 to 3 weeks, I got to take off the horribly uncomfortable post-op binder, which again, misery, misery incarnate. That thing is awful. So get ready for that. Don't want to scare you off, but for me, it was very itchy, very tight. It caused me to hunch over like this all the time for 3 weeks. So now I actually value a good posture. But like I said, after those 2 to 3 weeks, I was just so happy. And this might sound a little bit cringeworthy at first, but true happiness isn't something I don't think it's something I've ever felt prior to having top surgery. And I know happiness is incredibly subjective, but to me it meant just feeling life as it's intended to be felt without the burden of having a body that doesn't match your brain. It is incredibly taxing. I lived 20 years of my life with this body that wasn't mine. And I think that had a much larger impact on me than I'm ready to even discuss. But top surgery just dissipated that. Of course, the underlying pain of having to, you know, experience what it is to be trans and have surgeries is still there, but it no longer affects my day to day life. Before surgery, there was always just a layer of discontent. And that discontent came in a lot of forms. It came in depression, it came in anger, in sadness, in irritability, just disdain for things and people. And it was always there. No matter how good of a day I was having, I would realize that at some point throughout the day, I would feel those things. And I didn't know it was because of my chest. I mean, I knew I hated my chest and I had dysphoria. and bound for every day of my life for, a good 3.5 years. But I didn't realize how much it truly affected me until I had top surgery and experienced what it's like to live without that. I am telling you, if I could show you my room right now, I would, because it just kind of demonstrates that angsty, angry person I've always been. And now it's hard for me to even to relate to who that person was. Top surgery has been such a positive influence on my life, and it has just changed it completely. I don't feel burdened with that weight of discomfort anymore. I don't feel burdened with that anger anymore. I feel more free and more happy to be alive than I've ever felt in my entire life. I have been diagnosed with clinical depression back when I was younger, I think around 14. And usually how that would go is every 2 months or so, I would fall into that pit for about a week. I have not had that fall since top surgery. I have not been depressed since top surgery. And it is just the most amazing thing. So emotionally, in a nutshell, very, very positive. I can't imagine my life without having the surgery. Physically, I also covered that in the video that I did. I think I did it 2 days post-op. For the first month, it was hard because you have the tight compression vest and you can't really move like this. And you're like, fuck, I don't care. That's not a motion I do all the time. You do. You do that motion quite often. And it's not as bad as, people like to make it seem with the T-Rex arms. Really, it's probably like this for the first 3-4 weeks. But after that, it gets easier. I don't even really notice it anymore. My surgeon advised me against doing this for 6 months. So December, it is November 1st right now. So like one more month, but I still do that from time to time. But besides the movement limitations, I won't lie, it was scary taking care of my chest at first. When they send you home, at least my surgeon sent me home with a whole bag of goodies to take care of your chest. And I won't lie, it was scary. It was scary to have that responsibility, but ultimately what scared me the most was, I'm going to start talking about body parts real quick, so be careful listening. What was most disturbing to me was my nipples. They were black. They weren't black, but they were scabbed. They were like really gross scabs, and it was like that for like 3 weeks. Maybe even 4 weeks. It was like a month that my nipples were not nipples. They were wounds that I had to care for. I think I cried one time in the shower because I was so scared to wash them, but I needed to. Because you do have to be very diligent and very careful with your nipples for the first month, but you probably don't need to cry like I did. I'm just kind of extra and dramatic like that. But that was probably the scariest and most taxing physical ramification of surgery. The scars themselves are not, you put scar treatment on, and I'm not as diligent as I should be about that, but you do that morning and night until you run out of your scar thing. Quick pro tip here. Hold on, let me go get it actually so I can show you. All right, so your surgeon is probably going to send you home with either scar tape or a scar cream. I got this stuff from my surgeon's office. Oh, goodness, that's some bad quality right there. Okay. This BioQuorum Advanced Scar Treatment. It looks like this. Pretty unmistakable. I'll put a link in the bio. There we go. That's a good view of it. I'll put a link in the bio of this video on Amazon. And the reason I mention this is because I purchased that in my surgeon's office for $120. only to find out that the same thing is sold off on Amazon for 60. So, pro tip, don't buy scar treatment from your surgeon. If I were you, I'd probably ask them about which scar treatments they prescribe and then purchase it off Amazon, because it's the same stuff, it's the same quality, but it's not going to be, priced as they would be in your doctor's office. So keep that in mind. All right, without further ado, I will now show you my chest, because obviously it's probably why you're here. You want to see if my chest looks any good or not. So nudity, watch out, partial nudity, don't get triggered already. So this is my chest. I love it. I'm thankful for it every single day of my life. Like I said, I'm only about 3.5 months post-op, so this is not the final result. My surgeon says it'll take about a year to really see that final result, but let me just try and get closer for you. The incisions kind of go back like that, and they don't meet in the middle. Because I was working out rigorously before surgery, I kind of have chest muscle already, but don't expect to have that if you aren't working out, because I had surgery with a couple of my friends, and their chests were pretty, flat, because they weren't really pushing those pecs like they should have been. So if you want some nice defined pecs, I would recommend starting chest exercises probably 4 to 6 months before surgery. As you can see, my nipples are no longer scabby, horrible messes. I think they look pretty good, actually. Of course, they don't look 100% like normal nipples, but they're not normal nipples. And yet again, this is not the final result. As you can see, I've got some pleating, which is just when the skin ruffles a bit near the incision. I was told that would go away, but it's definitely a lot better than it was, but it's not completely gone. This side's probably the worst. But whatever. I don't really care. Honestly, I thought I would be so nitpicky about my chest, but I just love it so much that I don't care. Yeah, that's basically it. I don't have any feeling in my nipples. I think there's a possibility that I never will, but if I do, I think my surgeon said something about 1 to 2 years is when the feeling will be regained. So for now, I feel nothing, but the rest of my chest, I feel stuff. I feel stuff on the rest of my chest. So yeah, that's my quick 3.5 month update on my surgery. Overall, I'm very pleased. Some major tips would probably be purchase this shit beforehand. Listen to your surgeon when it comes to medications you should be taking, and be super gentle to yourself. Don't push yourself to do things you can't do or probably shouldn't do, because it will probably impede your end result. So thank you for watching, and I wish you all luck in your respective journeys. Thanks.